Hello everyone and welcome back to A Bit Tactical, where today I'm going to be doing the rules read portion of the Tempestus Aquilons guide for you, in which I explain everything about this team and how to use them to your delight. There are several timestamps down in the description for you to go check out the different parts of the video. Near the end, I'm going to be talking about general stats, tips, strategies that go with the Tempestus Aquilons, and then after that, at the very end, I'll be speaking about the guide going forward, how it's going to work, generally just the in-depth stuff that I usually do with the teams that I cover. So without further ado, let's get right into the guide, starting with the faction ability.
Oh, brother.
So check your mouths, find your chairs, and get set for a combat drop.
The Tempestus Aquilons are the closest thing Killteam has to ODSTs. Unfortunately, it's not Kazakin, it is the Aquilons, with the drop insertion faction rule. When setting up a Tempestus Aquilon kill team before the battle, the first third of your kill team must be set up as normal. Each third thereafter can be set up above. Place them to one side instead of in the kill zone. For each third that's set up above, you must set up the whole third in this way, not some of them. Then place one of your drop markers wholly within your drop zone. As a strategic gambit in the first and second turning point, you can move your drop markers up to 4 inches, measuring the horizontal distance only. In a kill zone that uses the close quarters rules, kill zone Galadark, this can be measured and moved through wall terrain. In the firefight phase, friendly Tempestus Aquilon operatives set up above are activated as normal. When you do, you can either expend or land that operative. If it lands, set it up in the kill zone in a location it can be placed as follows. It's no longer set up above, within 3 inches of one of your drop markers, measuring the horizontal distance only or wholly within your drop zone, not within control range of enemy operatives, unless you are setting up the precursor operative, which can be set up within control range of an enemy operative, with no part of its base underneath vantage terrain, with an order of your choice. The operative is treated as performing the reposition action, spending the AP accordingly, then continue its activation as normal. It's obscured until the end of the next activation or the end of the turning point, whichever comes first. Less than half of your operatives can be set up above by the end of the first turning point. In other words, by the end of the first turning point, more than half of your operatives must have been set up in the kill zone before the battle. When readying your operatives during the second and third turning points, remove one of your drop markers. This means operatives still set up above are incapacitated at the end of the second turning point. Those are a lot of words, but let me just very quickly show you what this means practically on a board. Also, they drop for free from any vantage point, just so you know. So let's go through this in a step-by-step process. First of all, you're going to, during the deployment phase, deploy your markers within 3 inches, wholly within 3 inches. That means they have to be wholly within your board, just like that, right? You have a 3-inch deployment zone. It's going to be entirely within that 3 inches. After they are set up, during the strategy phase of the first turning point, you are going to move each of these markers up 4 inches. It can be up to 4 inches if you want, but most of the time you're going to be doing at the very least 4 inches. Then, in the second strategy phase, you are going to remove one of these markers and move the other one up another 4 inches. To actually deploy somebody, what you're going to do is you're going to measure 3 inches from the marker. You are then going to drop them within 3 inches. Now notice that I said within, not wholly within. This is wholly within. This is within. So as you can see, that actually is a little bit more space that you can work with, right? This is within. This is wholly within. It's a really big difference. And in a game like Killteam, that is really crucial that you need to know. At the beginning of the first turning point, you should have 4 models down on the ground and then 6 in the sky. Or alternatively, you could have 7 down on the ground and 3 up in the sky. It does have to be split up into thirds. And during the first turning point, you have to drop 2 of them. So 2 of these models have to be dropped at the beginning of the turning point, having 6 on the ground altogether. Then, in the second turning point, all of them have to drop.
My head won't open.
like yours?
Works great.
Right. When you get done fooling around, I could use some help.
Let's start the equipment off with the Tempestus daggers, which you can give to every single one of your Aquilons if you take the Tempestus daggers, except for your Servo Sentry. It's 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3-4 damage. The only difference from your regular melee is instead of 2-3 damage, it's 3-4 damage. Moving on to combat stims, which basically means you can ignore any changes to the move stat of your friendly Tempestus Aquilon operatives from being injured. Pretty good. Then you have the drop augury. Once per battle, when a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative that's set up above is activated, before expending or landing that operative, you can move one of your drop markers again. However, it cannot be moved closer to your opponent's drop zone. So basically, you can move it another 4 inches. It just has to be left or right instead of forward towards the drop zone. And then you have remote overseer. Once per battle, when rolling off to decide initiative, you can re-roll your dice. Pretty self-explanatory. With that being said, let's get on to the ploys that'll help you stop your enemies.
And then you're gonna help me stop them.
Starting out with sudden offensive, count the number of friendly Tempestus Aquilon operatives that aren't incapacitated, then have the result rounding up to give you X. Until the end of their activation, friendly Tempestus Aquilon operatives' weapons have the balanced weapon rule. If they are the first friendly operatives deactivated during this point, equal to X. For example, if you have 5 operatives, the first 3 friendly operatives activated will benefit. Moving on to maintain momentum, whenever a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative is shooting against or fighting against a ready enemy operative, that friendly operative's weapons have the severe weapon rule. A ready enemy operative is somebody who hasn't gone yet, and severe is changing a normal hit into a crit so long as you haven't retained any other crits or you haven't rolled a natural crit. Then you have eye above, select one enemy operative. That operative and each other enemy operative within 3 inches of it gains one of your detected tokens until the end of the turning point. Whenever an enemy operative that has one of your detected tokens is shooting a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative, you can re-roll one of your defense dice, or is fighting or retaliating against a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative, one of your blocks can be allocated to block 2 successful hits. Moving on to drop and secure. Select one objective marker until the ready step of the next turning point. When determining control of that marker, treat your total APL stat of friendly Tempestus Aquilon operatives that contest it as 1 higher if at least one friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative contests that marker. Note, this isn't a change to the APL stat, so any changes are cumulative with this. Whenever a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative is within 3 inches of that marker, add 1 to the attack stat of its melee weapons up to a maximum of 4. Now, do keep note, you have to contest the objective. That just means you have to have a model on the objective while somebody else is also there with you, an enemy model, right? You know, they could control it, right? If 3APL elite team model, they could be controlling it, but if you're there, you are contesting it. It's just that they have control for now. With this, that should be evened up just to help you a little bit more. Because of the nature of the strategy ploys, I really would just consider taking 1 during a turning point and super focusing on what you're trying to achieve. Are you going to kill people? Maybe go with maintain momentum or sudden offensive. Or are you going for more objective play and defense, right? Then eye above and drop and secure. That's really where you're going to want to go. But let's take a look at things you can do spontaneously with your Firefight Ploys.
Amen.
Let's start off with your hot drop ability. Use this Firefight Ploy after rolling your attack dice for a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative that either landed or dropped from vantage terrain at least 2 inches higher than the kill zone floor. During this activation, if the target is within 6 inches of it, you can re-roll any of your attack dice. This means if you roll 3 misses, you can re-roll all 3 misses. 2 misses, re-roll all 2. 1, re-roll 1. Or if you miss with all 4, you can re-roll 4. Any combination that you can come up with, you can re-roll all of them 1 time. Next up is adjust coordinates. Use this Firefight Ploy when a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative lands. You can set it up within 5 inches of one of your drop markers, measuring horizontal distance only, taking precedence over the normal distance requirement. It cannot perform the dash, shoot, or fight actions during this turning point. So, essentially, The only thing you can really do is a mission action, maybe open a door, something like that, if you really need that extra movement. Next up is Tempestus Exemplars. Use this Firefight Ploy during a friendly Tempestus Aquilon Operatives activation, excluding the Servo Sentry and any operative that has an APL stat higher than 2. During that activation, it can perform the pickup marker, place marker, or a mission action for 1 less AP. So essentially, you do mission actions for free. So you could plant a beacon, which is a pickup marker action, and then a objective, with securing the objective, also for free. Next up, we have Progena, which is use this Firefight Ploy when a friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative, excluding the Servo Sentry, is activated. It regains up to 2d3 lost wounds, and during that activation, you can ignore any changes to its APL stat. So, the Firefight Ploys are also pretty good. Again, each one of them has their own unique flavor. You should be very, very strategic, as they should say, in how you use them and how you deploy them. Now, finally, let's move on to the Operatives.
Troopers, we are green and very, very mean!
Let's start out with the Aquilon-3rd. His stat line is 3 APL, a 6-inch move, a 4-up save, and 9 wounds, and he comes with an assortment of weapon combinations. He has the Hotshot Las Carbine, which has 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 3-4 damage profile, and that's paired with Fist. They have 3 attacks, hits on 3s, 2-3 damage profile. He also has a Hotshot Las Pistol, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 3-4 damage, range 8, and that comes with a power weapon, which has 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 4-6 damage, and lethal 5. Lethal 5 means that you crit on 5s and 6s instead of just 6s. He also comes with the Relic Bolt Pistol, which has 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 3-5 damage, range 8, lethal 5, and that comes with a Chainsword, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 4-5 damage. So, if you want to do better in shooting, you bring the Relic Bolt Pistol with the Chainsword. If you want to do better in combat, you get the power weapon with the Hotshot Las Pistol, and you never bring the Hotshot Las Carbine. He also comes with 2 special abilities. Tempestus Veteran. Once per battle, you can either use a Firefight Ploy for 0 CP if this is the specified Tempestus Aquilon operative, or the command reroll Firefight Ploy for 0 CP if this is the operative the attack or defense dice was rolled for. So self-explanatory. For 0 CP, you can use a Firefight Ploy or command reroll, so long as this is the operative that is using them. However, just know for Tempestus Exemplars, you cannot use that Firefight Ploy because you have native 3 APL with this model, so he just can't use it. He also has Command, which has the support keyword, which means it does stack up with your comms device, which would extend the range from 6 inches to 9 inches actually. So select one other friendly Tempestus Aquilon operative, excluding the Servo Sentry, visible to and within 6 inches of this operative. Until the end of that operative's next activation, add 1 to its APL stat. This operative cannot perform this action while within control range of an enemy operative. So you give somebody else an APL, you can only do it once though, right? Once per turning point, you can only do it, just so you know, or really once per activation, right? So if you counteract, you can't do it. Next up is the Aquilon Grenadier. He comes with the stat line of 2 APL, 6-inch move, a 4-up save, and 8 wounds. He has the Hotshot Las Pistol with Fist. That's 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3-4, range 8 for the Hotshot Las Pistol, and 3 attacks hitting on 4s, 2-3 for his Fist. He also has a Melt-A-Bomb, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 5-3 damage, range 3, devastating 3, which means that on a crit, you automatically do 3 damage that cannot be negated. Heavy, reposition only, which means that you can only use the reposition action and then shoot. You cannot dash in the same turn or in the same activation that you've thrown this Melt-A-Bomb. Limited 1, which means you can only do this once per battle, and Piercing 2, which means your opponent will only roll 1 save die unless they ignore piercing. And he also has a special ability, or he he just is this person. He is a grenadier. The operative can use frag, crack, smoke, and stun grenades. See universal equipment. Doing so doesn't count towards any limited uses you have, i.e. if you also select those grenades from equipment for other operatives. Whenever this operative is using a frag or crack grenade, improve the hit stat of that weapon by 1. So he can just throw out all of these things without you having to bring them, and he increases the hit chance from 4s with the crack and frag to 3 with him, which is just amazing. Then you have the Aquilon Gunfighter, which is going to have the exact same stats as all the other operatives. 2 APL, 6-inch move, 4 up save, 8 wounds. That's the last time I'm going to mention the Aquilon stat line. But he comes with 3 weapon profiles for the exact same weapon, which is the Hotshot Las Pistols. Focused, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 3-4, range 8, ceaseless. Then you have Rending, which is if you have a crit, you can automatically retain a normal hit of yours into another crit. Really good. You have the Hotshot Las Pistol Salvo, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3-4, range 8, and the Salvo. Salvo is select up to 2 valid targets, shoot with this weapon against both of them in an order of your choice, roll each sequence separately. So it does say select up to 2 valid targets, so you can shoot at one person 2 times. The only thing that would be different here is you're hitting on 4s and you don't get ceaseless and rending. And then you have the Hotshot Las Pistols, point blank, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 3-4, ceaseless. So that basically means that that's your combat. Instead of having knives, you just shoot with your pistols, which is really nice. He also comes with the special ability Gunfight. Whenever an enemy operative within 8 inches of this operative shoots this operative, keep track of each attack dice that's discarded as a fail. After the action, before incapacitated operatives are removed, including this one, if relevant, this operative can perform a free shoot action. You can change its order to engage to do so, but it can only target that enemy operative with its Hotshot Las Pistols focused. And you only roll a number of attack dice equal to the opponent's discarded attack dice plus 1 to a maximum of 4. So essentially, somebody shoots you, anything that they fail, so let's say they roll 2 fails, right? And then they move on to you. You will then roll 3 dice, right? Because it's those 2 fails plus 1 as a shooting attack. You can change to engage if you have to, and you do this even if you die. So if that in that shooting attack they have, they kill you with it, right? Let's say it's a Melta and he just gets 2 hits, you don't get any saves, they kill you. You will then get 3 shooting attacks right back at them, which is just awesome. This is an amazing ability. I personally really love it, and it really just helps you punish people who even just dare to shoot you. Then you have the Aquilon Gunner, which comes with 2 different weapon profiles, which would actually be 2 different operatives. One is the Melta Carbine, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 6-3 damage, range 6, devastating 4, piercing 2. That's a Melta, really good. You're always going to bring this guy. And then you have the Plasma Carbine, standard, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4-6 damage, piercing 1. You can also alternatively shoot the Plasma Carbine as supercharged, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 5-6, hot, which means that you will roll a d6. Anything less than a 3+ for the Aquilons, right? Anything less than a 3+ would be a fail. Therefore, you would then times that dice by 2, and then that's how much damage you would take. So if you on a 2, you would take 4 damage. He also comes with Fist, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, 2-3 damage. Then you've got the Marksman. He comes with a Hotshot Long Last, the concealed version, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, 3-3, devastating 3, heavy, silent, and concealed position. Concealed position is this operative can only use this weapon the first time it's performing the shoot action during the battle. So the first time you shoot during the battle, you have to use this. If you can't do that, then you just don't have this ability. He also has Hotshot Long Last Mobile, which is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 3-4. That just means you're not moving. And if you move, you can use this one. Then the Hotshot Long Lad Stationary, 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 3/3, devastating 3, heavy. Fist, 3 attacks, 4 hitting on 4s, 2/3. Then he has the special ability Sniper's Vantage. Whenever this operative is on vantage terrain and is shooting on operative that has an engage order and is at least 2 inches lower than it, all profiles of its Hotshot Long Lads have the severe weapon rule. Really nice. And next up is the Aquilon Precursor. He's got a Hotshot Las Pistol, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3/4, range 8, and a Tempestus Dagger, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3/4, lethal 5. He's got 2 special abilities. Vicious Knife Fighter. Whenever this operative is fighting, after resolving your first attack dice during that sequence, you can immediately resolve another before your opponent. So you drop down, you hit him once, and then you can immediately hit him again with another one of your dice. Or you can parry out 2 times if you want. Then he has Dynamic. Whenever this operative performs the shoot or fight action, it can immediately perform a free dash action afterwards. It can do so even if it's performed a charge action during this activation, but can only use any remaining move distance it had from that charge action to a maximum of 3. So you fight, you shoot, you can immediately dash out. Basically, it's like a free get out of jail free card. That's what it is. Basically, just to get you into a better position later on. Moving on to the Aquilon Servo Sentry, slightly different stats. 2 APL still, 4-inch move, a 3-up save, and 10 wounds. So, kind of a tank a little here. He comes with a variety of weapon profiles. The Flamer, 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 3/3, range 8, Saturate, and Torrent 2. Saturate means that he ignores people's cover saves. Then you've got the Grenade Launcher Frag variant, which is 4 attacks hitting on 4s, 2/4, blast 2. And then the Grenade Launcher Crack, 4 attacks hitting on 4s, 4/5, piercing 1. You also come with a Hotshot Volley Gun, focused, 5 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/4, piercing crits 1, which means you have to have a crit go through. You have to have a crit, and then you can do 1 piercing variant. Then you have the Hotshot Volley Gun sweeping, 4 attacks hitting on 4s, 3/4, piercing crits 1, and then Torrent 1 again, just like the Flamer, except it's just 1 inch. He is also a machine, which means that the operative cannot perform any actions other than dash, fall back, reposition, and shoot. It cannot retaliate, assist in a fight, or use any weapons that aren't on its data card. So if somebody comes up and fights him, he can do nothing against him. He just has to take that damage. Then he's also the turret. This operative can perform 2 shoot actions during this activation. Really good. Finally, we have the Aquilon Trooper. He comes at you with a Hotshot Las Carbine, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3/4, and Fist, 3 attacks hitting on 4s, 2/3. He has Rapid Insertion. It's a strategic gambit, so in the first strategy phase, each friendly Tempestus Aquilon Trooper operative wholly within your drop zone can immediately perform a free reposition action, but it must end that move wholly within 3 inches of your drop zone, basically a dash. Then Swift Landing. When this operative lands, you can set it up within 4 inches of one of your drop markers, measuring horizontal distance only, taking precedence over the normal distance requirement. So basically, from up top, you can move 4 inches, or you can drop within 4 inches instead of 3. So it gives you a little bit more movement there, and then you can perform a free dash during the first turning point if you deploy him in your drop zone. However, do know it is a reposition action, so technically you do have 6 inches to work with. However, you are restricted to only 3 inches, which, that might matter sometimes. That might matter, right? If you have to climb, that might matter. Just so you know. So that is it for the operatives. Let's go right into operative selection, who you're allowed to bring and how.
Where's the rest of your team, Trooper?
Scattered, dead, I don't know.
That's too bad. We're gonna need all the men we can get.
Let's move on to the operative selection. So for the Tempestus Aquilons, you're going to have the archetypes Recon and Search and Destroy, or Seek and Destroy. I am personally going to say that plant beacons is probably your best one, or confirm kill. Those, if you're going to go for more objective based, I would go for plant beacons. If you're going to go for, you just want to kill everybody, then do confirm kill. But for your actual selection, you're always going to bring your Aquilon Tempestus. He is your leader with the hotshot last pistol and power weapon, or the relic bolt pistol and chainsword. It's one or the other. You're never going to bring the carbine. Then you can choose 9 operatives. Your grenadier, your gunfighter, and your precursor are your specialists. You can only bring them one time, and I suggest you always bring them. Then you have your gunner options, of which your marksman and your servo sentry count as part of them, right? Personally, again, I would always go with the gunners, the melta carbine, and the plasma carbine. You should always bring them. They're your most reliable gunners. And then it's up to you to choose between your marksman and your servo sentry. Again, I'd probably go with the servo sentry with the grenade launcher, unless you can bring the marksman easily onto a vantage point. If you can do that, then I would consider really bringing a marksman. He gets severe with it, his weapon, which means he automatically does devastating 3 wounds. So, something to consider. Other than that, though, you're going to be bringing 3 extra troopers. If you get all your specialists and all your gunners and your leader, you're going to have 3 troopers at the end of your selection. Or you can just make them all 9 troopers if you really just want to be a Giga Chad like that. It's really up to you. Which actually does bring us into the guide portion of the guide, right? Everything else was rules read, which is the main point of this video. However, now let's go into a few tips and tricks. One thing that I think you guys should really consider doing is keeping your Melta Grenadier. You should keep him on the ground. Giving that 3rd APL to this guy makes it so that, yes, getting him close so that somebody can meet that Melta bomb right up close is really good, but throwing out a smoke grenade, right, which gives obscurement and ignores piercing, that is really, really good. That stun grenade as well can be really, really good. Just don't forget that he can be a very good support unit if you want him to be. Same thing with dropping, right? When you drop, you are obscured. So you actually have a more than decent amount of cover there, right? Obscurement, you discard one of your opponent's successful hits. They can't roll any crits, so everything is reduced. It's just really good. Especially with your servo sentry, right? You drop him down, he's got 10 wounds, he saves on 3s. They automatically discard successful hits as a fail. If you've got him in cover, like if you got him on vantage, then he also gets a cover save. Like, it's just, all of it is really, really good. Just keep that in mind. And you get that with everybody who drops, right? Also, just keep in mind, you should be using your drop ability to the best of your ability. You should always plan to have some sort of tactical team up top, ready to just destroy and deal out that death, right? To me, the gunfighter and the precursor, they're always up top, because I want them to be getting up close and personal, right in people's faces, right? The precursor, obviously, because he can drop into combat, and the gunfighter, because he needs somebody to be within 8 inches of him in order to pop off his gunfight ability, which you do want to do. It's just a little bit of that extra damage. It can really pull a long way through, right? Having your guy go, shoot maybe 2 times during that activation, and then on your opponent's activation, getting to shoot a 3rd time, potentially getting 4 shooting attacks, which means it's just a normal shooting attack, I think is really, really dangerous and deadly, and you should consider using it. And of course, popping somebody in the face with a Melta is just always going to be good. But another thing you guys should consider is, I think this is actually a really good defensive team, especially against somebody who knows the Aquilons. If they know how the Aquilons play, they're going to hang back turning point 1. They're going to even hang it back a little bit turning point 2. So use that to your advantage. Take control of the board. Choose an objective and your home objective, right? And just start placing models down in a good defensive screen. Make sure that you're using your troopers as screens if you're in Gallo Dark, block doorways with them. If you're in an open board, make sure you've got that nice trooper screen so that if somebody charges you, they're most likely going to charge those troopers. And then have all your deadly operatives nice and ready. And that's really, when against an experienced player, they're probably going to hang back because they're going to realize that your most deadly faction ability immediately goes away, turning point 2. So just be aware of that. And if that does happen, again, play defensively. Use plant beacons as your tac op. Play the objective. And then try to fight and die on that objective. But if you do see them get aggressive with you during the first and second turning point, absolutely go full on balls to the wall. Every single person dropping down is shooting somebody and getting shot back up. And when you're obscured, you actually have a lot of survivability with that. Anyways, that's just it for general tips and tricks with the Aquilons. Now, and that is actually the end of this guide. It's already longer than I wanted it to be. However, it's a big team. They've got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of explaining to do. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that crap. However, just so you know, the way that I plan to release the guide in the future is I'm going to try for a lot of the bigger videos, like the strategy ploys, the equipment ploys, all that, the faction rule itself. I'm still going to do that deep dive into it, in which it's a one video dedicated to that entire part of the team and strategies around it. For all of that stuff, 100%, it's still coming out. It's going to probably be coming out for the next month and a half, starting the week after this is released. So, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, and I'll see you guys next time.
What can I say? It was a hell of a night.